Good afternoon and welcome to Rubbin Minds. My name is Isabella Adediji. Now, over the week, we all saw those horrifying images of children, minors being arraigned in court, malnourished. You could see their bones actually protruding through their skin. And we even saw one pass out during the court session. And after that, we heard that the bill was placed at 10 million naira. Where are the families of these children supposed to find such a huge amount of money? And why is the bill so high? And what does it say about our justice system? What are the processes for arraigning minors? And what is in place to protect their rights and ensure that while they are in the prison, they're behind bars, they're in detention, that they're well taken care of, they have enough meals and they have access to quality medical care. These are some of the issues we're going to be discussing on the first segment here on Rubbin Minds. Now, joining me from our Abuja studio is a legal consultant at Hope Behind Bars, that is Henry Barnabas. Henry, welcome to Rubbin Minds.
Thank you for having me.
Let's just go straight into the conversation. And I know Nigerians are asking, what does the Nigerian law say about arraigning minors? And what does the Child Rights Act also say?
Thank you very much. The law is clear as regards the treatment of minors in regards to criminal justice system in Nigeria. Minors cannot be treated as adults in the regular courts. The law, as stipulated in the Child Rights Act 2003, stipulates that for every child that has to be tried under criminal justice, the child has to be tried either in a family court or in the juvenile system, right? So the law is clear. There's no gainsaying as regards to whether minors can be tried in regular court or not.
And if that's the case, why did we see what we saw over the week? I mean, these are clearly minors, whether or not they're married, as the lawyer said. These are minors and should be treated as minors. Who takes the blame when the laws are being flouted clearly?
Well, it's a sad situation we have here because just like I've stipulated in the Child Rights Act, the years for majority is 18 years. So irrespective of whether you are married or a child is married, because issue of marriage has to do with different location in the country and as well. But you know, from the far north, we have different age that applies to the south, right? But the Child Rights Act is what guarantees or stipulates what an adult is, and an adult under the Child Rights Act is 18 years. So irrespective of the said allegedly that one of the children or any of the children is married does not really matter, because under the law they have to be treated as minor. Now, coming back to your question as regards who takes the blame, well, you know, from the get-go, the criminal justice system, the first point of call are our security agencies who actually, you know, make arrest and then refer these individuals or suspect, as the case may be, for trial. And I can say that for every step, you know, from the detention center, from the police investigation to trying of these persons to the court and, you know, where they have been arraigned, I think everybody is culpable or should be blamed for this incident, because the law is clear. You cannot treat anybody less than 18 as an adult.
And this brings us to the conversation around human rights in Nigeria and child rights specifically. And what does this say about the justice system in ensuring that the rights of Nigerians are protected?
Well, if you look at the story behind the trial of these young individuals, they've been arrested since August, and then one of the allegation was the end bad government protest, and then they were giving Trump up charges for terrorism and all that. Now, it's clear that under Nigerian laws, where everybody have a right to peaceful protest, right? So if you have a right to peaceful protest, what the government can do is to actually protect protesters, not to arrest or try to silence them up. So what we have here is a sad situation, which lawyers, civil society, and the Nigerian Bar Association will continue to advocate against abuse of fundamental rights, especially as it relates to children.
And I want us to look at just the length of time that these children have been in detention. What we're looking at is what, going over 90 days now. What does the law say about holding people for such long periods? Are there ways that these things can be sped up? If you say someone needs to go to trial, needs to face the law, must they wait so long behind bars?
Sadly, for us at Hold Beyond Bar, we have been advocating for non-custodial remedies for issues like this. Now, the daily upkeep, for a regular inmate takes up to 1,000 and 1,005. Now, you have over 112 children multiplied by 1,005 for 90 days. It means that we are using our taxpayers' money abusively, right? So the best way or the best form as regards to whatever it is, whether minors or not, is to advocate for non-considered measures for, especially for crimes or situation that does not pose a threat to the society. That's what we are advocating for. We should learn as much as possible to, just to put people in detention center. It's a very sad situation. Now, if you look at the videos or the images, you will discover that one of the children had to even suffer malnutrition and, collapse in court. Why? Because, of course, taking care of this person, and if you look at the economy right now, taking care of inmates particularly is a very huge cost to the prison system or the custodial system in Nigeria. So measures as regards non-custodial measures should be put in place by security agencies and the courts in regards to crime in Nigeria.
And for the judiciary, one wonders how the figure of 10 million came about, and where these families, like you just mentioned, with the hardship in the country, where are families supposed to find these huge amounts? And what does this say about the judiciary when it comes to ensuring that Nigerians can exercise their rights to peaceful protest, like we saw during the End Bad Governance protest?
Well, the issue of bail really is the discretion of the court or the judge, as the case may be, to issue bail conditions, right? And one of the reasons that the courts will always consider is the nature of the crime, the status of the individual in question, or surrounding facts, as the case may be. For this particular case, it's clear that these persons are minor, right? And ordinarily, for you to try minors under the Child Rights Act, you are supposed to, first of all, hand them over to their guardian or their family member, right? So that's one of the steps. And where they have to even go to court regularly, they must be represented by a legal practitioner. Now, for us at Hold Beyond Bars, we got to know about this issue in August, and from the August to date, where the fundamental human rights matter was filed, we have always been in court, trying to monitor all the issues. But you would understand that representing 112 persons is not an easy deal, right? So we need to advocate for a system where, if at all children will be tried, the procedure as stipulated in the Child Rights Act must be followed to the letter end.
And I mean, organizations like Hope Behind Bars are involved, but what about other organizations that receive huge grants to work in the area of children, child protection, child empowerment? Are there other organizations you're working with that have also shown interest? Because it brings the question of how are these funds actually being dispersed and used?
Well, right now, the situation right now is a call to action. I know so many NGOs, organizations receive grants from international agency as regards to children. So it's for us, we at Hope Yaba, we are leading the way, and we are calling on other organizations to join us with us to be able to ensure that we fight this abuse against our children.
And while this is going on, what protection is in place for these children? Because your earlier answer, you said 1,500 naira, I believe, for their welfare. We know what 1,500 naira can do just for food. It barely covers the bare essentials, let alone medical care and other things that children need who are still growing. So, what protection is in place for these children?
Well, right now the law is their protection, and we are calling on the government, especially the Attorney General of the Federation, to invoke his powers as outlined in Section 174 of the Constitution, and continue this matter. I think that's the first measure to start with. This matter against these children should be discontinued, right? And then their medical bills, their transportation, should be catered for. I learned some of these children are based in Kano, and I think right now the government of Kano should be making effective measures to ensure that these children are returned safely back to Kano and reunited with their family members.
And 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 that also brings in the question of their representatives. Surely these people are part of constituencies. So whether it's their House of Representatives, their senator, their governor, like you've just said, what should these people be doing now?
If I was, because I don't want to speak for anybody, but I'm putting myself in place of any of their representative in their constituency. I think tomorrow is Monday and it's the first day of work. I think they should use whatever connection, whatever powers they have to engage with the AGF to ensure that first of all, this matter is first of all discontinued, and then of course, try to reunite these children with their family. And for us at Home Yaba, we are not just looking at the release of these children. We are also looking at how government will be able to cater for these children, education from primary to secondary school. So these are the things that some of their representatives should be doing or thinking about to do right now.
Yeah, and indeed, representation is about, knowing what is going on in your constituency. And if there are issues that like this that have received national attention, one would imagine that there'll be a faster response. Now, we focus this conversation a lot on the children, but it's a wider conversation on end bad governance protests and other protests. Are we now in a situation where going out on the streets to demand things from the government is now criminalized? Because some parents will be sitting in their houses and saying, no, my child is not going to go out. I won't go out because I could end up behind bars.
Well, first of all, I think using children to protest is a really wrong measure, right? So, but for any of the any citizen of Nigeria, I think everyone is entitled to protest and carry out their grievances. I mean, it's a very known fact that most persons in this government have, one way or the other, have tried to air their grievances or try to correct issues they think they know through peaceful protest. So protesting is one of the rights of individuals, and as long as you are doing it within the confine of the law, I mean, it's okay, right? So it also behoves on our police to be able to screen and ensure that people who would have to protest are provided cover, right, and provided the right environment for them to protest. I mean, yes, you can create a bit of regulation just to filter some miscreants and all those who would want to take advantage of protests to engage in looting and all that. But however, the right of protest is, I mean, one of our own rights, and it should not be taken away from us.
And beyond this case with the children, there are other cases of adults who were engaged in this peaceful protest and past protests that are still facing jail time, that are still seeking legal representation to regain their freedom. Does it mean that we're getting to a stage in Nigeria that we're going to see less people show up to protest because of the antecedent, because of this kind of rulings? Because how many people can afford bail if you do end up behind bars?
Well, I think it's a measure by the government to discourage people from protesting, right? And I think civil society should also stand and condemn measures like this that is being put in place. And we're also advocating for the courts to be able to discourage or allow themselves be used by agents of government in this regards. And I think moving forward, really, they should be profiling for people that we, facing criminal trial, especially. I mean, justice is not blind, really, even though we have Lady Justice would cover that, but justice is not blind. And I think any judge that sees somebody that is suspects to be a minor, I think the judge should descend in the arena and ask questions that will help provide justice in that particular matter. So we are calling on the courts not to be used by agents of government to discourage people from protesting or airing their grievances.
And finally, what can be done in the short term to ensure the release of the children and also people who have ended up going out to protest peacefully but have ended up behind bars for exercising their rights?
I think right now the burden rests on the shoulder of the AGF, the Attorney General of the Federation, to invoke his power as outlined in Section 174 to discontinue these matters and, I mean, profile some of these suspects. If you feel that they are adults and they need to be tried, then proper measures should be put in place. But for the children, if you want to really try them, you cannot try them in regular court. You have to take them to a family court or a juvenile center.
Thank you very much, Henry Barnabas, a legal consultant at Hope Behind Bars Africa. Thank you for your contributions on Rubbin Minds.
Thank you so much.
You really wanna get with you. Don't just stand